Yo, what is up everybody? Popo here bringing guys a new video, and today we're going to make some predictions and hot takes about the Dortmund regionals. Let's go. Welcome everybody, and today we're going to be talking about the Dortmund regionals that are going to be happening this weekend. We've had some fantastic regionals leading up to this, so I'm really interested to see where the metagame is heading going into this one. I feel like a combination of all those regionals are kind of going to ball up and be in this one here. We've seen a lot of different teams able to win or even do very well at these regionals, so I'm really interested to see what the top team is. It feels like every team is including at least one or two, maybe even three of the teams that I'm going to show up here, or Pokemon I'm going to show up here, with a kind of different core added onto that. Whether that be like a Raging Bolt core or you have like a Rillaboom core. There's a bunch of different things. It feels like grass types and fire types are really good right now. There's at least one, if not two, of each of those types on every team. So it'll be really interesting to see if somebody can kind of figure out something that counters that. I think Lamora does a pretty good job being a counter to both of those types. So we'll see if we continue to see the Glamora increase in usage. I think it will. At the last regionals we just had at Knoxville, Glamora's usage was pretty low considering that it has been doing so well. But with Wolf Glick getting 5th recently in a pretty big online tour, I think we're going to see a huge increase in the Glamora usage, or even that team with some alterations on it. In general, maybe losing the Magmar for, you know, another Follow Me user, maybe like the Ogerpon. Yeah, so let's get right into this. I don't think there's going to be any surprises on this portion, but when we get those hot takes, of course, our hot takes last week were actually kind of decent. So, and our underused Pokemon, we finally had Tyranitar. He finished 9th, almost top 8, so we can finally move on from that boy. But first of all, Fluttermane, 61%, I think it's going to drop. We saw it drop dramatically in day 2, actually being the number 2 most used Pokemon in day 2 last week at Knoxville. So I think the drop for Fluttermane is going to continue. It's going to still be the number 1 Pokemon, but catching up on its heels is that Ogerpon Wellspring. This thing has been increasing in usage. It is really good right now. Once again, grass types are very good right now. It also hits all the fire types that are really good right now. So it just does a lot into that. Though Rillaboom is very good against this Pokemon. Next we have Incineroar. No surprise there either. These just swapped for my predictions last week. I think Incineroar is dropping a little bit, and we'll continue to see really good usage, especially in some of those defensive cores, being a good fire type. But once again, there's a lot of fire types going around right now, so he is fighting for a place. And that's weird to say, because usually fire types are fighting for a place over Incineroar. Now he's fighting to stay on top, so very, very interesting dynamic. Next, oops, I'm pressing the wrong button there. Next we have Tornadus, and Tornadus was one of the top used Pokemon. It's starting to move away from that Urshifu Water, which I think is really helping it. Once again, grass types are so good right now, especially the Ogerpon being at 50% essentially. It's gonna continue to drop. And then of course we have the Urshifu Single Strike, which is actually good against a lot of these grass types. So it can do a lot of damage. It's fast and stuff like Rillaboom, so it can get Sucker Punches off to finish him off. With the Focus Sash, it's able to live at least 1 hit. It can 2-shot things like Fluttermane. So and then last, I think Amoonguss. I had the same lineup last week. I think Amoonguss is going to continue to increase in usage. I think it was kind of low at Knoxville, and I think that now it's going to raise a bit more and just be better. It's just going to be better. Now, underrated Pokemon. So I got some hits on here. All right, I got some hits. I believe in some of these Pokemon here. We have Weezing, which I had on last week. Weezing and the Iron Bundle, which I think are both still really good. There's been a lot of Weezing teams going around recently, so I think we might see a resurgence in the Weezing. I put this Weezing, but I think we might see the Fairy Weezing a little bit more because it's better than to that Urshifu Dark right? It can hit the Urshifu Dark, it can one-shot it if it's not running Focus Sash. It can do a lot of stuff, so as well as be able to protect in front of Urshifu, or your other Pokemon can protect in front of Urshifu, and it resists both of his attacks. So I think we might see Urshifu, the Galar Urshifu, sorry, Galar Weezing over the regular Weezing, but I just put Weezing here in general. Next we have the Iron Bundle. I think Iron Bundle is really good. We're seeing a lot of speed creeping. We're seeing a lot of Flutter mains go for that speed because of these Gouging Fires are going for the speed boost. So the faster Pokemon than all of those is going to be the Iron Bundle. It also does pretty well into both of those Pokemon. It's really fast, does a lot of damage. I think we could see an increased usage of it. Next we have El Creamy. I've been seeing some El Creamies out there. If we keep seeing the rise of something like Spore or Sleep Powder, I think El Creamy is a really good Pokemon to consider, as its ability makes so neither of your Pokemon can go to sleep. This just strictly counters a lot of teams that are going for slow, maybe Spore, setup teams, stuff like that. And also with Decorate, it can just make your Pokemon very, very strong and just doing tons of damage with little investment. So I think we could see some El Creamies. I don't think it's going to do super well this weekend, but I think we'll see a rise in El Creamies, and we'll compare that on our recap video. We'll see if there has been an increase. Smeargle had a huge drop-off, huge drop in win percentage in the last regionals. I think he's on his way back. I think he's going to be good. I believe in the Smeargle. I just think somebody's got to find the right tuning of Smeargle. Another Decorate user, so this is another Pokemon that can take advantage of that, as well as be able to Spore. So I think we could see something. And maybe somebody might get through with one of these Muck teams. I doubt it, but who knows. And last but not least, we actually have the Galar Zapdos here, and this Pokemon has been seeing a slight rise in usage, but now that Wolfglick came 5th with one and just showing how powerful it can be, I think we might see the takeoff of this Pokemon. It's really strong against things that are even, you know, effective against it with that Choice Scarf, just being able to outspeed them and do massive amounts of damage before being knocked out. So you're getting trades essentially, which could be in your favor. It outspeeds Flutter mains that aren't booster energy, so it's able to one-shot those with the Brave Bird. You know, you can go Terra Flying, you can go Terra Steel, you can do a bunch of stuff. Plus it has Defiant, so it's not able to be, you know, intimidated by the Incineroars. You run next to a fake, like a fast fake out user like Rillaboom, and then you're getting maximum value out of these Pokemon. So I think that's it's really, really good. I think we're going to continue to see it rise, and I kind of believe in it. I used it a little bit, and it feels all right. I just haven't found a team that fits me yet, so I'm kind of on the fence of Regulation F at the moment. So don't take a team builder from me, but I believe that this Pokemon is good, and Wolfglick kind of showed that. Now the hot takes. Once again, last week we did pretty well. Wolfglick's team did not get top 16. Joe did not win, though he came in 10th, so I'll take that as close enough. It's close enough. Melbourne, no, we did not see Wolfglick's team win, and Smeargle was not in the top 4. So there were some hits, but we tried our best. But this week, 100% accuracy, because we got a Paradox that has never won before wins. So this could be anything like Iron Jugulis. We could see Slitherwing, maybe. People have been talking about Slitherwing for real, like not even as a joke at the moment, because it's a fake fire type that resists all the stuff that fire types are weak against. So, and it's a fighting type, which is actually really good in the meta at the moment. So, we could see some Slitherwing. Will it win? I don't know, but I think we might see one of these Paradox that haven't won a regional yet get his first regional win. Number 2. No Americans in the top 8. Usually we have some decent players from America that go over to these European regionals. I don't believe at the last one, I forgot which one it was, Liverpool. I don't think there was any Americans in the top 8, and I think that's going to continue. I just think Europe is going to take this one. I think they're going to take this one. Ting Lu drops all the way off. I think Ting Lu is false. I think it was good for a moment. I think that it's just too weak. I don't think it outputs enough damage or pressure to be effective in the metagame at the moment. I think that, yeah, it can be bulky and it could do some stuff, but it just loses to a lot of different things. And having used it myself at a pretty big tournament, well, a relatively big tournament, a PC that had some really, really good players at it, it just felt like it couldn't keep up with a lot of the stuff that was out there. And yeah, I think it's just going to drop all the way off. I think we're going to see it at a pretty low win percentage, and I think a lot of people are going to have moved away from the Ting Lu Porygon 2 team. But that doesn't mean Porygon 2 is lost forever, because Porygon 2 is going to be the #1 Trick Room setter. It's going to have the highest placement out of all the Trick Room setters. This includes Indeedee, so it's going to have better finish, or tied with Indeedee, because you can use Porygon 2 plus Indeedee. I wouldn't suggest it, but you could do it. I think it'll have better finishes than, you know, Hatterene and any of the other Trick Room setters, even Farigiraf. I think it's going to have a better result than Farigiraf. Everybody's ready for Farigiraf now. Everybody's prepared for it. Porygon 2 just, I feel like, does a lot more. It's interesting to see what Terra it will be, because it can do a lot of stuff, and if it's going to be a more support Porygon, or will it be one of those attacking Porygon, because I think having Trace plus, you know, Airy Impulse is still super relevant, right? It seems like it's still really good, because you can Trace and Intimidate, and just Intimidate, plus you have Airy Impulse pressure. So you're just really making your opponents struggle on their damage output. So that's my hot takes. Yeah, those are my predictions for this weekend. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. We'll have the recap on Monday. And until then, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys thumbs it up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.